Hello everybody and welcome to this scouting report. I'm Dan Haiek here with Matt Doyle, and today we're previewing the season opener for FC Dallas and the Montreal Impact. Matt, what's your hook for this game? Why should I watch this game?
Well, I want to see if either of these teams did enough in the offseason to jump a level and really compete with the big boys in 2014.
Well, the biggest move both of these teams made in the offseason has to be the coaching changes. In Dallas, that was Oscar Pareja, and in Montreal, it's Klopas taking over. But let's focus on Dallas for our nuts and bolts. Colorado, under Oscar Pareja in 2013, was a 4-3-3 team. Do we expect to see Dallas line up in the 4-3-3 in Week 1? If so, how does it match up against Montreal?
I think we're almost 100% certain to see Dallas play the 4-3-3 right off the bat. They have the pieces for it in midfield, up front, and I think in the back as well with a couple of good overlapping fullbacks. But I think actually Montreal will match up pretty well against it because this is going to be a team that sits deep and tries to counter.
Something we saw for most of 2013.
Absolutely, from Montreal and of course from the Chicago Fire as well, which Frank Klopas was coach of last year. And they handled Sporting KC pretty decently, of course the foremost 4-3-3 team in MLS. And the thing with FC Dallas is that they want to play their 4-3-3 with speed up the flanks. And if you sit deep, you force that speed to come into the channels and try to combine a little bit. And I'm not sure that's a strong suit of any of these guys. Certainly not Fabian Castillo, who a lot of people expect to have a breakout year. So I think it's actually a very good matchup for Montreal, though you got to give the edge to FC Dallas just on raw talent in this one.
Now, you mentioned Dallas wants to play on the wings. Montreal last year didn't get enough production from their wing play. That brings us to the WTF stat. The number is 8. That's how many goals Montreal got from wingers last year. They had 5 of them, mixing and matching 5 players out there. They only got 8 goals. We talked about it during the preseason preview for Montreal. They need more production from the wingers. Can they get it against Dallas?
They have to get it. Not only because if they want to jump a level from a team that barely made the playoffs to one that's a legitimate contender, you need to have a little more diversity in attack. But because Marco Di Vaio's not in for this one. He's suspended for the first 3 games of the season because of the nonsense against Houston in the playoffs last year. So, and Andrew Wenger will probably get the start as a center forward, and he's a very good hold-up player, and he's a very good athlete, and he's a very bad finisher. So you can't really rely on him to give you the same production that Marco Di Vaio did. So the other guys, the wide guys like Justin Mapp and Sané Niasse, they really have to step up, but so does the guy in the middle of it all, Felipe. They need 2012 Felipe, not 2013 Felipe. He looked like a breakout star in that first season in Montreal, and he was just a level or 2 below that last year. That has to change for them to be a competitive team.
All right, well, we'll find out on Saturday if they do get the 2012 version of Felipe. This one kicks off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch it on MLS Live.